What is up, guys? Hop on in here. How are we doing? Welcome to it's Thursday, guys. It's officially Thursday. Hope everybody had a good day. It was we have one more day till the market is over and we hop on into the weekend, right? So hop on here, guys. Welcome. So in today's lesson, I'm going to be going over kind of the trades of how we took four trades today, the thoughts of why we took those four trades. Out of the four trades we took this morning, we had one loss and three winners, which I consider amazing. It's technically 90% win rate. So really good. And we're going to be doing a Q&As, and then I'm going to be talking about really about mental and mindset. I really think it's so crucial and so important to talk about mindset. I was on a phone call for about an hour with one of the students, and how he passed all five accounts, got to he was $300 away from getting a payout, and I think it was like an $8,000 payout off of five accounts, and he got excited, he got overwhelmed, and he actually blew all five accounts and had to start all the way back over from zero. And it wasn't because he didn't know how to trade. It wasn't because he over leveraged. It wasn't because he forgot how to trade. It was because of his mental and his psychology. So I'm going to be talking about that tonight. But first off, Scarlett, go ahead and kind of talk about how you thought you did today, what you took, why you took it, and all that good stuff. And I'll go ahead and share my screen as well.
Well, hey guys, I took the same trades Will took, and I have stopped taking little trades in between, and I've stopped over leveraging, over trading. I was green today, 520. I was green yesterday, 500 too. So I feel good. I feel consistent. I know it's just like been a couple of days, but I already passed my 25K eval. And my goal is to make it past the intraday drawdown section and actually get a payout from this account and keep funding my prop firm accounts with this account. It's just getting really expensive to lose accounts, and you guys know the deal. But I feel good. I feel like I'm trading better, cleaner, sharper, and I hope to continue this because this is what's going to get me the payout.
Awesome. I like it. I know. And the really good thing is it's a 1-to-1 usually. So you just have to make 1.5K till you hit that trillion drawdown. And then anything after 1.5K, you can request for a payout. So it just take it slow and steady, good $300, $400 days, even $200 days, and you'll hit that 1.5K profit very quickly. So yeah, just consistency and just follow those rules, right? So awesome. Anything else you kind of want to say, Scarlett, before I dive on in here?
Yeah, Mr. Buck is asking me how many contracts. I've been sticking to five M and Q. And then when I see a really good opportunity and when Will is telling us I'm gonna add a contract here, I go ahead and add another five. So I'm in like 10 M and Qs, which is equivalent to one NQ.
Okay. Yeah,
But
that's perfect.
I don't start off with one NQ
Perfect. And you see
like
that?
before.
And I'll ask you a question too. Like when we're in half position size and it does go against us, or we might get a little bit of retracement, do you still feel nervous? Do you still feel jitty? Or do those nerves and stuff slowly kind of, I mean, it still sucks that you see red on your account, but do they feel a little better now since you're not just going in 1, 2 NQs, you're kind of taking it on a half size? Is that going to help?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I feel better setting my stop a little wider, and I don't get all super bummed out when I get stopped out and go red or something because it's not a lot.
Exactly.
So,
Perfect. Awesome. That's
yeah.
exactly good. Awesome. Perfect.
That's
But yeah,
it.
let's get it. But yeah, let's hop on in here into the trades. Okay, we took four trades today. The first trade actually that we took today, I consider this a break-even trade. Yes, I still technically lost $200 on the first trade, but I was in six NQs, so a $200 loss on six NQ contracts I consider to be break-even, especially with the amount of leverage that I'm going in with. But the first trade we took, and if we zoom on in here, obviously we have pre-market highs right here, right? And we're trading right above the VWAP right here. So market was just kind of consolidating, and market shot up to the upside right on market open. Now, the reason why I decided to go long here was I saw that we had a miniature level of resistance, a 1 minute miniature level of resistance right here. And the first candle, right? First candle market open was green. I mean, sorry, red, right? We immediately just sold off. Okay, and I'm like, okay, interesting. I even told you guys, hey, I'll be interested in a break here. If we can get a break here, I'll look for shorts. Which, by the way, that's kind of what we took down here, if you guys remember. So I said, okay, fine, that's cool with me. You know it. Let's kind of see what's going on. And then right when the buyers stepped up, and buyers really stepped up aggressively here, I'm like, interesting. Okay, cool. I'm liking this. Let me wait for some type of pullback into this market and see if we can find something, right? And so first candle, we came right back down, and I actually entered my half size position at this candle high break right here at 23,699. Okay, that was my half size position. I'll make it green for you guys so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about here. And that was half size. That big candle got you. Wait, you actually entered on this big candle? You entered on these big candles? There was no reason to enter, Mr. Buck, if you did enter on those. Hopefully you didn't, but oh, okay. And so the half size position was right here at the screen level, and then obviously this candle was technically a red candle, right? Because again, now we can't really see because we can't go back in time, but this technically was a red candle because see how market opened? We came all the way back down here, we turned red, right? And then we came all the way back up. And I'm like, okay, well, if we could come all the way back up, I will enter again a contract right here on the next break and see some type of continuation. Some type of buyers will be stepping up and pushing this price higher, right? So I entered again exactly the same spot, another 3 NQ contracts. So I was in a total of 6 NQ contracts. And then I was up pretty nice. I was up maybe like $600-700 at this high point right here. And I was like, okay, cool. And my initial stop loss, because my average dollar cost average was right here, my initial stop loss was candle low here. And I'll make this red so you guys can kind of visually see this. My initial stop loss was right there. Now, when we started slowly pushing higher, I started slowly inching my stop loss higher and higher, right? But if you guys are in the trade with me or you guys were watching this with me, did you see how long it took me to see how long it took for the buyers? Like, okay, we're slagging here. It's taking too long. And this is where reading price action comes into play. Okay, there's no key level is hitting. There's no nothing. This is all about reading price action. And I said, okay, cool. You know what? It's taking too long. I'm just going to go ahead. I started seeing the market come back down. And I was like, you know what? Let's just get out of this trade. If it wants to come back up later, we'll go ahead and potentially go long here. But let's just get out of the position and exit. And we did. And it went a little bit too quickly. So I did actually get filled for my exit right here, actually on this white line. I didn't hold it all the way down to my exit, but I did get out of this white line, which here's my entry. So that was where that $200 loss came into. So that was the first trade. Cool. Questions, comments? We good? The second trade, right? And then that's how I said we read that to a T. Sellers really started stepping into the like, interesting. Okay, cool. So we have high of day right here. Okay, we have market low right here. This is technically a support area. Why is this a support area? Because this was support, this was support, this validates it. Okay, so I'm like, okay, cool, we're selling off. Well, again, I want to make sure that the market, what do we need to see when we have a short? We need to see the market trade below the VWAP. Cool, we started trading below the VWAP. And I'm like, and I actually told you guys, I'm like, hey, I might think about going short on this break. I think I'm going to go short on this break, but I'm like, you know what? We extended, we dropped 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes pretty aggressively. Let me just go ahead, not be aggressive. We already took one trade. I'm not going to play the break. I'm going to play the break and retest. And I'm going to be like, Will, what made you not want to take the break? And he decided to take the break and retest. What kind of made you think that? And the reason was just because I took a break even / loss, so I didn't want to just jump right back into another trade in less than like 5 minutes. Okay, I'm like, let's actually wait for a little bit more confirmation. So we broke that level and we came right back up. I'm like, interesting, cool. We're coming right back up, right? And this candle came right back up. And I decided to go in half size. Now, this is going to be a little, I want to say confusing, or you're like, Will, why did you do this? And this is actually really good for me to kind of point out. But I went in half size early, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and put a green line here so you can see. Now, instead of me waiting for the low break here, right? And I'm going to make this purple. Instead of me waiting for the market to break here and then enter here, like, because if I just waited and I entered here, right? Yeah, I would have never been in drawdown. Yeah, we could have got a pretty clean move on that, right? But the reason why I saw, okay, so we broke, this candle came back up, and then when this green candle opened here, we pushed, and then we came right back down. I decided to enter half size here because why? I'm going in half size, so I'm trying to get the best dollar cost average to my trade. So if I'm visually saying, okay, this is a resistance level, we should not break above this. if we're in a downtrend, I will be okay entering early before the break on a half size, right? So that's why I went in half size, and that's why when we came right back up, I'm like, guys, my stop loss is candle high of here, and that's why I was pretty much almost about to get stopped out of this trade. I was pretty much like a 0.25 of a point getting stopped out of this position because I said, you know what, if we do break back above here, market might just reverse and come all the way back up, right? But I want to see some type of push and selling and continuation, right? And so what happened, right? Right when I started seeing sellers now step into here, then I added again, right? And again, just like I say, then I added another 3 NQ contracts here, and then I added another 3 NQ contracts at the break. Okay, I got stopped out. Yeah, and there was no reason to get stopped. I don't know exactly OT1 where you put your stop, man. I don't know if you put it down here. I don't know if you put it right at this level. But for me, I always put my stops above the level because this, for a perfect example, this could have happened, and just like you said, you would have been stopped out on a winning trade. We do not want to be stopped out on winning trades. I want to be stopped out when I'm wrong. I'd rather get stopped out when I'm wrong, which later when I'm going to break down the next trade, I'd rather get stopped out when I'm incorrect instead of get stopped out on a trade that's supposed to be in my favor. Okay. Say I put my stop loss too tight. Yeah. And I always tell you guys so many times, we're in half size. We're in half size. Like, why are we putting our stop loss way too tight if we're in, like, quote unquote light? Now, when I say I'm going 3 NQ contracts, that is light for me. Okay. That is super light for me. I'm trading on a $92,000 account. That is extremely, extremely light for me. All right. Now, obviously, 3 NQ contracts might be insanely heavy because my P&L goes from like $700,000-$800,000 very easily. But again, I have the capital, the cushion to do that. Right. So if you guys are going in half size, there should be no reason for you guys to put tight stops. Now, I'm not saying don't put stops. Put stops in appropriate positions like my stop loss up here. But then when the market then goes our direction, right, and I added 3 here and I added 3, so I actually went in a total of 9 NQ contracts on this trade, and I actually put limit orders. So when I usually re-add, I usually put limit orders if I get the option to. It really depends. Like, when do you put limit orders in? When do you not put limit orders in? It really depends upon the price action. Like, if I enter and then we have time and the market's slowing down enough for me to put that limit order in, I'll go ahead. But if it's just moving, I'll just go ahead and buy market, okay, or sell market in this case scenario. All right. I understand the system and edge over the market, but it's my mental on taking. Yep, and that's why I'm gonna shift over to stop or mental and psychology here after we break down these trades. All right. And by the way, this lesson is being recorded for you guys to rewatch it, or for the people that can't show up tonight. But anyways, so I actually went in. So my first position, 3 NQs. We came back up and say if we can break back below here, I'm in 3 NQs again. Now, when I re-add, right, let's say we consolidated again and we never broke, where would I put my stop? Since I just added another 3 contracts, now I'm now putting more risk on the table, right? Let's say my stop loss was, I don't know, $600 from here to here. If I add another 3, now it can be $1,200 loss. So when I immediately added here, I moved my stop loss. So my original stop loss was this red line. Okay, let me color code this red real quick. I moved my stop immediately when I entered here all the way down to candle high here. Okay, because I'm now really, I want to say, over leveraging myself, but at the same time I want to keep my losses small. What is the point of the trading, guys? Losses small, bigger wins, right? What makes you decide if you're getting out when it starts going your direction for a minimum loss compared to adding more contracts? When you decide get out, I get out when I hit my stop. I get out when, like, if I added right here and it pushed above here, I've gotten stopped out. Because why? This is a key level. If this acted as this is a resistance level, which broke right back above it, 9 times out of 10, we're going to do something like this over here. Does that kind of answer your question? Since it never broke my stop and then we continued going down, I'm going to add to my position. Why am I going to add to my position? Because the market in the price action is saying, okay, Will, your thesis, your hypothesis is correct. You can go ahead and add more risk. I still want to have that stop because you never know with this market. But at the same time, it's telling me, hey, Will, let's add more to the risk because your thesis or conclusion or whatever you want to call it, game plan edge, is going in my favor. Okay, so then I added again right here. So then I was at 6 NQ contracts. Then the market was moving, and I put a limit order to add another 3 NQ contracts here. Got filled, right? And then I moved my stop at literally green line. Okay, which now my dollar cost average, because when you add to your position, that's not exactly what you added before, your dollar cost average goes down. So technically my dollar cost average was right here, and I'll go ahead and change this to green. Okay, so then I was like, you know what? if this doesn't actually just fall here, I am just gonna get stopped out. And this, the last time when I went in 9 NQs, was then the decision for me to say, you know what, I'm gonna do break even stop because I'm in 9 NQ contracts. One, right? I am pretty confident if I had to add 3 times into the trade, I am pretty darn confident this trade should go my direction. Okay, and boom, we hit it to the T, and that's what made me back my obviously my $200 and then making about 2.4 thousand for that trade. Okay, and that's what I made for that 2.4K. All right, that was trade number 2. Okay, trade number 2. It's crazy how you do all these steps at the same time, synchronize, practice. Yeah, bro, like when you do this for, dude, I don't think you guys realize, especially for new students, I've been doing this for 7 years. Right? I know I'm only 24. I'm young as fuck. I'm extremely young. I have so much more stuff and so much trading ahead of me, but I started when I was 17, guys. I'm almost 25, right? So when you do this for so long and you finally mastered your craft, like in anything, it just starts clicking and clicking and clicking, right? You guys are everybody in here, everybody on the team, the whole community, you guys are so new. Like if somebody says, Will, I've been doing it for a year, that's nothing. Right? Will I be doing it for 6 months? That's nothing. Will I be doing it for even 2 years? That's nothing. It took me 2 years just to figure this out. Right? I mean, it sometimes you get out when there's a small loss, but yeah, exactly. But wait, sometimes you get out when there's a smaller loss, but we're in a bigger loss at some point. But sometimes you add because sometimes I get stopped out, but you wait till it goes back in the direction, then you get out with a little loss. Yeah, because the good question, man. Because I usually, like for example, sometimes it doesn't always happen, but I usually like getting out. Like I wouldn't close this position unless we close above this level. But I would say this candle just boom comes up, and then let's say if this candle closed right here, well, that's a pretty big loss, right? But at the same time, I don't like just, oh my goodness, we touched the line, I'm out, right? Because if we just touch a line, there's things called wicks. That's what smart money, that's where banks and hedge funds know where people's stops are. Guys, banks and hedge funds that trade billions with the bead of dollars in this market kind of know where the retail trader stops are, right? So if you put your stop here, am I the only person that sees this as a resistance level or a support level? Absolutely not. Especially the banks and hedge funds know that this is a resistance level. So what they're going to do, people put a ton of their stops at this level, this candle will wick back up to probably knock out, I don't know, 70, 80% of the people, and then finally continue going lower, right? And people don't, that's why I always have to make sure I never put my stop at the line. You have to make sure that it closes below it, or you want to put it up a little higher, right? I have to work on finding my break-even place when I have added 200. Yeah, because when you do that, Brent, right, you dollar cost average, okay? And that was that third trade. Now, or the second trade, excuse me. Let me go ahead and delete these lines. The third trade we took this morning was actually a loss, right? And the reason why I took shorts, okay, on this third trade, this was a loss, but I was already up 2.4, right? So since I'm already green on the day, and green pretty comfortably, that I'm happy with. I usually like averaging at least $2,000 a day, right? $2,000 a day is $10,000 a week, which is $40,000 a month. I at least want to hit 2,000 a day, right? If I can hit more than that, beautiful. But I at least want to hit 2K. So I'm like, you know what? For me to trade again, there's really no need. I hit my daily goal. I don't really need to trade again. But you know what? It's only it's 15 minutes. Let's see if we can find some more trades, right? So then the market started pushing here. And I'm like, wow, okay, cool. We're coming back up. But the reason why I decided to still take a short was if this is high of day right here. This is high of day, right? Technically, I was like, okay, this could potentially form a lower high still, right? On a bigger time frame, right? So if we got here, this could potentially be a lower high. So I'm like, if we get rejected here, it would probably make sense if we can continue selling off, and then we go ahead and we target these lows here, right? So this was the third trade. I'm like, okay, cool. This is looking good, right? And I technically wanted to enter here. This was my, I really wanted to enter here, and it probably wouldn't have been a loss for me if I was able to enter here on the screen line, but it happened too quickly. See, sometimes I'm not able to hit every single trade flawlessly, right? And so then I got filled pretty late. I actually got filled all the way down here for that trade, right? So I got filled right here on this trade. And then when we started bopping around here and we came back down, and I wanted to target these lows, right? This was the one that I wanted to target these lows. So then but I only went in light size. And then light size was actually slower than 3 NQ. I went in 2 NQ contracts. Okay, so I wanted 2 NQs. There was no confirmation for me to add more. Now, Will, why didn't you add more on this? Because look, if this candle shot up and then came right back down, then I would have added more. But there was no way to add more. So then my stop loss, I wanted to put my stop here, but I decided to put my stop high of this candle. That's where I put my stop loss at. And at this high candle here. And then this candle right here, boom, immediately got stopped out in seconds. But I did have a stop in there. I didn't have a mental stop. I had an actual stop, right? So again, I lost about a grand. I lost about $800 on that trade, right? 850. Okay. Which again, I'm fine. I'm up 2.4. I'm still up 1.2K. I sent a screenshot. I'm still up 1.2K for the day. Nothing tripping, but I'm like, okay. And again, I'm not like, oh my goodness, I lost a trade. Let me start revenge trading. Let me start getting angry. Let me start, oh my gosh, let me get back my loss. I'm like, okay, it happens. We lose sometimes. I'm not going to be perfect. I'm going to take losses. It's part of the game, right? So then I'm like, okay, cool. Let me resynchronize what's going on. And then when I started seeing buyers really break this downtrend right here, I'm like, cool, interesting. Well, then I told you guys, I'm not interested in going long unless what? We trade above the VWAP. Okay, cool, we're trading above the VWAP. And then I was like, okay, I want to see it break above high of day. If we can break above high of day, this can look like a good continuation play to pre-market highs. Well, again, we got out early. I didn't actually truly get out pre-market highs. But then right when I saw this candle push up and get rejected, I'm like, interesting. If we get rejected here, but still price holds up, right? If price can still hold up and we don't just like come all the way back down and then start just chopping, taking a break here is good. Taking a break here makes sense. So then we pulled on back just a little bit and buyers stepped right back up. And this is where I went in. Again, I went in 3 NQ contracts. Okay. I went in 3 NQs. Okay. I was pretty confident in this trade and my entry was on point because again, I was able to, it didn't happen too quickly. My entry was flawlessly at this level. My stop loss was 50% of that candle because in this example and in this trade, I'm like, okay, I'm not trying to see it to continue or come back down, dribble, and then continue. I want this to be a breakout play. I want buyers to really rip past this price and continue to the upside. And that's exactly what it did, right? We broke past this price, and I was in drawdown by like half a second because this one candle came back down and then shot back up. And now you're going to be like, Will, where was your take profit? Okay. And my take profit was right here. Again, I won't be able to actually show you because my algo updated, but my algo, because I have 6 time frames up at all times, but on the 5-minute time frame, I had a key level on my algo say that is a key level. Actually, I think it was actually right here, excuse me. That is a key level, right? And I was in 3 NQs, and boom, there it goes. And that was the last trade that we made, making back my 1.5K for the day, and then I finished up 2.6K for the day. Right? But when I took that initial loss, guys, I'm not freaking out. I'm not like, oh my God, you know what? I'm in a loss. I'm panicking. Let's full port. Let's just go short. Let's go long. Let's go everywhere. Doesn't like why, appreciate it, Osby, right? We take precise trades. Now, could I have like kept on trading or like, oh my, and if you look at this play, did I cash the whole move? No, I missed out on quite a bit of the play, but I don't care. Right? My goal is, okay, I entered flawlessly. I controlled my risk flawlessly. I got out at a point that I was comfortable getting out with. Right? And if you guys see, that's how I'm able to stay consistent. When I take a loss, I'm not going to start full porting. I'm not going to start just, oh my gosh, I'm red. Let me immediately enter a trade. I waited, reformulated another game plan. Let's say this trade didn't work out. Let's say I did go long here. We liquidity sweep and we just sold right back off. Because that could have happened. Let's say that does happen. Okay, I probably would have taken a $600 loss, maybe a $400 loss, and I would have been up, I don't know, like let's say $600 for the day, right? And then I would have walked away and I would have still been green, guys. So I could have taken, so if you guys see my risk to reward, right? Out of 4 trades, let's just say that last one was red, right? That means I took 2 green trades. Actually, no, I take that back. I would have actually taken, no, actually I take that completely back. I would have taken 1 green trade and 3 losses. But out of 1 green trade and 3 losses, in a sense, let's just say that, I would have still been green. Why? Because when I lose on my trades, they are half-size positions, and when I win on my trades, they are multiple, they're like 6, 9 NQs. But when I lose on 3 or 2 NQs. Okay? Now, in this last trade, I wasn't able to add more to the position, right? I forgot if I added or not. I honestly don't remember. I don't think I did. But I was never able to. So let's say we aren't able to add to our trade. At the end of the day, we're still making money. Doesn't really matter, right? So, but our goal is when we lose, though, right? It's half size. But when we win, it's half size or at least full size. And if you have a high win rate, like you guys know me, I have at least a 75, 85% win rate. The math checks out. Okay. When you're in drawdown for a little, how come you don't add more contracts? Because, well, for example, right, when I was in drawdown right here, I wasn't 100% confident, or I want to say I wasn't 100% sure, or even 90% sure that we would trace. And again, why didn't I add more? Because I just took a loss, right? And this is, again, all psychology, right? I didn't just go in, oh my goodness, I'm in 3 NQs, let me add another 3, because, again, I just took a loss. I just lost like a quarter, almost half of my profit. So let's just take it easy. You know, if the trade works out, I'm going to be back to break even and more. If the trade doesn't work out, and that's where you guys have to figure out your balance, your psychology with how you trade, right? That's the problem with me. All my losses are the same as my wins. Yeah, that's probably why you're green, red, green, red, green, red, green, red, because you have to not, and at the same time, what is your win rate? If your win rate's 50-50, you take one win, you take one loss. You take one win, you take one loss. If your win rate's 50-50, that can make sense as well. So you guys have to, one, what is your win rate? And when you do lose, what is the average loss? And when you do win, what is your average win? That's why I know Brent uses it as well. I use TradeZella. It literally tells you all the statistics you need: your win rate, your risk tolerance, your average loss, your average win, everything, your commission fees, right? I think it's like $29 a month, I believe, if you use it. Yeah, $29 a month. Okay, you don't need it. I'm not saying you have to go out and purchase it. You don't need it, but it gives you data that really will help you out in the long run for sure. Okay, so those are the 4 traits. Okay, and I'm not going to talk too much about psychology and mental, but you guys have to see, like, you have to figure yourself out first, right? Obviously, trading the strategy is one thing, and then being able to trade the strategy with how you're feeling is another, right? So there's how you're feeling in the trade, how you're supposed to trade, and then you're supposed to like put those simultaneously in hand, which isn't easy, right? Dealing with your emotions, your fear, your greed, your FOMO, and then dealing with just the market itself with your edge, knowing where to put your stop, when to add, when to understand price direction, blah, 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 volatility, all this stuff. It's not easy. If it was easy, everybody would be making $6,000, $7,000, $10,000 a day, right? But the thing is, it is possible. You just have to really, really, really take it slow, right? Because I don't want somebody to join today, right, and then expect in 1 week you guys make $3,000. It takes time. And I think that's why in trading, it's really, really misunderstood. All these people that not even my community, but that just want to get into trading expect that they're going to make all this money very, very quickly. And that's the farthest from the truth. And then some people get lucky where they might take a ton of trades and like, holy crap, I just made a ton of money, or this is my first prop firm account. I just passed it and just got a $2,000 payout, right? But that was complete luck. Can you do that next 7 times? Probably not, right? I need to start adding because I'm always up and down and 60% win rate. Yeah, I mean, you guys know I add most of the time if the opportunity presents itself. If the opportunity doesn't present itself, obviously I won't add, right? Like this last trade, there was no opportunity or true opportunity for me to want to add, so I didn't, right? This consolidated for a little bit, so I added. Now, consolidation shouldn't be scary. Like, oh my gosh, well, it's consolidating. Is it going to change direction? No, because I'm confident in my ability for my strategy. Now, I still have my stop loss. And when I do add to my position, I'm still controlling my stop loss. It's all about knowing when to put your where to put your stop loss, when to move your stop loss. I think that's a little bit hard for a lot of you guys as well, right? Where do I put my stop and when do I move my stop? Because a lot of you guys are putting it in the wrong spot, so you guys get stopped out too soon. Or you're putting it, or sometimes you might put it in the right spot, and then immediately when you go green, you move it back straight to break even. And you should, like, you guys know I have like 3 steps. I have first stop, second stop, break even. I don't just immediately go to break even. Okay, you have to give it some room, even with this volatility, right? It's most definitely not a get rich quick thing, but if you see the potential getting there, yeah, exactly. It's not a get rich quick, but if you stick with it, holy crap, you can make a lot of money. Like, guys, I'm probably gonna make like $23,000 in a week, right? And that's still small. Like, you guys just know TGR just made in 1 day $500,000, right? I'm not even there yet. Like, in 1 day, he made $250,000, like $500,000, like 450,000, right? And I'm in this week I made 23,000. Now, if I tell you guys I made $23,000 in a week, you guys will be like, holy shit! You just made half of my yearly salary in a week, right? Or, but to me, that's nothing compared to other traders. Now, it's all about perspective. I'm not saying it's nothing, but you guys can see the level as this. Now, the sky's a limit. Now, I know traders that are making $500,000 a day. A day. So the money in this market is insane. I know a person that is averaging 100K a day. Okay, it's crazy, and making $1 million a week, right? It's insane how much money is on the table, but you're not going to get there in a week or a month or a year. Okay. Do you ever plan on increasing your position size? Yeah, I mean, eventually, probably next year. I mean, me trading right now, 9 NQ contracts, that's a lot for me. And you guys know 9 NQ, like, I'll tell you how much that leverage that is. 9 NQ, so $20 is one. So $20 per point is 1 NQ. So if I do 20 times 9, that's $180 per point. So just a 5-point move, guys. A 5-point move with 9 NQ contracts is a $900 loss or win. 5 points. 5 points in NQ is nothing. So I think that's crazy leverage, if you ask me, right? And I mean, a $90,000 account is insane. It's a lot of money. But like, if I go heavier than that, 2 points, $1,000, that's insane, right? So I still have to be smart with it. Maybe I should, obviously, maybe build my personal account to maybe $500,000 or $1 million, and then I could take bigger positions. But for me to want to go more than 15 or 20 or 30 NQ contracts, I have to at least have a $500,000 or $1 million account, honestly. Like going at 20 NQs, right? If you go in 20 NQ contracts times 20, that's $400 per point. So 400 times 5 points, just 5 points is 2K. So if we're averaging just in the trading, we're averaging, let's say, I don't know, 19 points. That's what we usually average, right? 400 times 19, that's a 7.6K loss or win. Now, if you take 2 back-to-back losses, that's 14K. Having a $90,000 account and you already lost $14,000 in a day, that account's going to go fast, pretty bad. So you have to see the leverage in that, okay? That would be us someday. How exciting that calculator at the beginning messed with my brain. Yeah, that's why a lot of people in here, you guys are like, oh my gosh, I only made $200. Bro, that's amazing. You just started, right? But that's where prop firms really mess with your head because you guys are trading on fake money. So if you guys are trading on fake money, you think $200 is nothing because it's not real, right? But if you have your own personal capital account of, let's say, $4,000 and you made $200 in a day, right? You'll be like, oh my gosh, I just made $200 because it's real. So I think prop firms can be a bad thing because you guys want more, right? Like I talked to, again, I'm not going to say his name, but I was talking to a student. He made $600 today. And then he wanted more. We hopped off. He kept on trading. He finished the day losing $200. So he gave back his $600 profit plus another $200 red. And I'm like, bro, why do you do that? He's like, yeah, you're right, Will. Like it would have taken me 3 days at my job right now to make $600. And I just made that in 15 minutes with you. But I'm trading on prop firm. So I wanted to at least make $1,000 today because I wanted to pass my prop firm faster. Do you guys see that? He made 600. He made his money in 15 minutes. Would have taken him 3 days to make. It would have taken him 3 days to make something he did in 15 minutes. But because he's trading a prop firm, he doesn't think it's real, which technically is not, which makes you guys trade more, which makes you guys lose and blow accounts, and you never get to where you want to be. Really think about that. And it's so true, right? It's so true. So be happy with where you're at and compound it, because $300 a day compounded every single day for the next 3 months, it's going to add up. And then you can get bigger and then bigger and then bigger and then bigger. Okay. So what else we got? Scarlett, want to add anything else before we wrap things up here for this lesson? I think it was a pretty good lesson, but.
Now that I'm like a little bit more busy with work, I don't have the desire to trade after we log off. And at the beginning, I had a little bit more time, and I would take trades after we would take trades together. So that also, I think, plays a. I guess what I'm trying to say is if you get busy. Yeah, see, Mr. Buck, yeah, if you get busy during the day, if you have things to do, then you log in, we trade together, and you log out and you focus on something else. You won't be as tempted to overtrade or sit in front of the charts for a super long time when we're not supposed to trade after 8:30
Exactly. And
or
that's
whatever
why,
time. Yeah.
yeah, no, I know what you mean. Yeah, exactly. That's why I only trade 4. That's why I only set myself trade 4 times, no more. So You don't overtrade, and that's where it gets people, right? No, exactly. So I did 1300 with one on contract with second run up back up to high about 1030 ish. Yeah, and it shows even with one contract, look how much money that is. Yeah. I shut it down today and was super proud of myself. Let's go. And then that just goes back to what? Psychology, mental. Guys, trading is literally 10 to 15% of it. Executing the edge, just executing the edge itself is like 15%. 85% or more is all about your emotions and how you react. I've had multiple students get so close to a 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. I had a student almost get to a $65,000 payout. Okay, this was a while ago, but a $65,000 payout. And he blew it in one day because he didn't, he wanted to hit, I think, like 70K or something. It was on TPT. He
No
had, I
way.
think, yeah, he had five 100K accounts. He got lucky. He held a trade overnight. I think he held like 7 NQ contracts overnight. The market dumped, and he made like I think like 20K in one day. And then he kept doing that, and then he was close to like a $70,000 payout off of 5 accounts. So like 5 divided by 70 would be what? 70,000 divided by 5 was 4. So he's going to take $14,000 out of each account, and he wanted to hit 70,000. He was like 64,000 or something, and he went in like I think like 9 NQ contracts, didn't have a stop loss, was too stubborn, and he blew all of it. And he could have literally taken a payout. He didn't. Again, TPT, you can take any payout. You don't have to trade for 5 days or whatever. He could have literally taken at least maybe, even if it wasn't a 70, he could have maybe done a 30, but he gave everything out back and blew all the accounts. He quit trading for 3 months, and I think he just joined like 4 days ago again. Again, I'm not going to say his name, but it shows you how messed up psychology is in trading. It's crazy. It's actually sickening, like crazy. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how he felt. I don't know how I would have. I don't even know what I would have done. I can't even put words what I would have done, honestly. But he's back. He just bought 5 more accounts. He bought 550K, 150K accounts, and I mean, I'll talk to him and see if he wants to. He's not in the lesson right now, but we'll see how he does. So, but anyways, that's it for me. Charlotte, anything else that you want to say, or you good?
No, see you guys tomorrow morning, bright
Perfect.
and early.
Finish the day. It's a Friday, guys. It's a Friday, so let's not be stupid. We don't want to be stupid on the last day of the week and then go into the weekend red. So let's be smart. Let's take some good trades. Let's finish the week off strong. I'll see every single one of you guys at 8 a.m. Have a beautiful rest of you guys at Thursday night. You guys are awesome. I'll post recording here in a little bit, and I'll see every single one of you guys in the AM. Peace out, team. Good work today, and I'll catch you guys later.